very important. We know that our people are the first ones to die from a lot of very preventable illnesses and diseases that are out there. And so a person that's going to help me have this conversation in a very intelligent way is my brother, Mr. Nathaniel Jordan, a.k.a. the Minister of Wellness. How you doing today, brother?
Hey, I'm doing good, Doc. Thank you for having me on.
All right. Well, I'm glad to have you. I'm glad to have you. So everybody, as you come in, please greet the brother, and also let us know what city you're coming from and stuff like that. And also, please hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done it yet. And so I just want to tell everybody, what drove me to be excited about this conversation. Did anybody give me a yes or no, if anybody saw where you had a lot of people out here, in our community, celebrities, particularly pastors, things like that are really pushing government-based solutions to the virus. I'm not going to say it in a certain way because I don't want to deal with people thinking that we're anti-nothing. But how many of you have been kind of frustrated or confused by that? The way Black celebrities have been used to promote the Dr. Fauci solution to things, rather than actually talking to our own people about how we can actually be healthy enough to fight off viruses on our own. I don't know if anybody else has seen that. And I'm actually going to kick off the discussion with this picture. I want everybody to take a look at this image, and I'm going to ask my brother about this image. And I'm not making fun of anybody, but truth is truth, and we got to just be honest here. I saw that TD Jakes and Tamela Mann were doing something where they were interviewing Dr. Fauci and kind of promoting his solution to a problem that we're all very serious about. Now, I'm not here to judge anybody's decisions. I'm not here to tell you what to do or what not to do. We are not anti-nothing, so I want to make that 100% clear. But I want to show you this picture, and I want everybody to look at this picture and be honest with me. Here's a picture of Tamela Mann and TD Jakes. Now, you look at this picture. That maybe it's a bad picture. I don't know. But it looks, they ain't missing no meals. We know this, right?
Amen.
Starvation is not a problem in their homes, and I think that's a wonderful thing. But when you look at this, right, and you see an image like this, and I'm not trying to be a jerk here. I know some people are gonna get mad at me. They're gonna think I'm hating, but that's what it is. Sometimes people think Black love is hating on somebody. Well, if you think that way, then I don't know what to do with you, because sometimes honesty is necessary for us to address our hypocrisy, right?
Amen.
Right. So I want to ask my brother Nathaniel Jordan, when you see this image of two Black folks that that could probably use some of your advice on health and wellness, telling people, not saying a word about how to prevent certain viruses. I mean, one of the leading factors in these viruses are things related to obesity.
Yep.
Right. And so you're obese and you're not saying anything about preventing obesity, but you're saying everything about whatever Dr. Fauci has to say. How does that make you feel, man?
It makes my blood boil, brother, because here I am. Here the CDC is. They've already said that people who die from the virus are mostly obese and overweight. And there's no focus on that in our communities and by people such as Bishop TD Jakes and Tamela Mann. They're not talking about that at all. But here you have me, brother, the son of a preacher who ate himself to death. I am a preacher. I lost 100 pounds and I reversed heart disease, comorbidities that makes the virus deadly. And when I start to influence too many of our people with how to reduce these at-risk comorbidities, I get thrown off. I get banned. I have bots taking all of my videos down. So that what makes my blood boil, because that picture represents everything that I stand for as the Minister of Wellness. My ministry was birthed from my pain of losing my father, Pastor Eddie Jordan Jr., 9 strokes, and died at age 66. You know why? Because he was taught in the church that as long as he blessed his junk food in Jesus' name, that the junk food would miraculously be blessed and nutritious to his body. And wow. so that's what that represents, brother. It boils my blood because I have the solutions. I teach the solutions. You can go on my website, And I've helped brothers bigger than Bishop, bigger than Tamla Man lose all of their weight. And yet here I stand completely banned from 1,000 free videos that was helping Black people.
Wow. Wow. Well, everybody, I'm speaking with Nathaniel Jordan, aka the Minister of Wellness, and what we're talking about is health solutions for Black people and why health solutions are not being pushed as much as some of this other stuff that we see. You know, we know what it is. I don't want to speak on that too much in terms of, you know, shots and all that, because they're getting to the point where they are banning people from even talking about preventative health solutions. They're banning people from saying, look, you know, if you take care of your immune system, you are less vulnerable to most of these viruses that are out here. Give me a yes or no in the chat. Everybody in the chat, give me a yes or no. If a person eats right, exercises regularly, and keeps their immune system strong, are they more or less likely? Actually, don't give me a yes or no. Give me a more or less. Are they more or less likely to survive a virus, particularly the one that we all know about, the one that's been talked about in the media this week? Give me a yes or no. Are they more or less likely to survive? Are they less likely, you know, or are they more likely? Or does it make no difference? If you think it makes no difference, then that's fine. Right, because I like what you were saying, man, when you were talking about. And first of all, R.I.P. to your father. You know, he said he's obviously a great man, because great men come from great men most of the time.
Thank you, brother.
So Black fathers matter. You know, and I want to say that, but also, you know, when you that powerful point you just made, you know, this idea of praying over your poison. Yeah. You know, you didn't use those words, but that's what it sounded like you were insinuating. Yeah, that if you pray over it, if you pray about it, Jesus is gonna fix it. You know, and what this connects to is that, you know, this idea of praying over your poison. I'm gonna eat this poison. I'm gonna put this poison in my body, and I'm gonna pray over it, which is gonna make me feel safe. And then when all the consequences start coming in, right? When the poison does what poison does, poison kills you, right? We know that our food is poisonous. Then I'm going to put myself in that victim box, right? Yeah. And I'm going to go, you know, maybe if there's some celebrity on TV that identifies me as a victim, he's going to have some sort of show where they're going to parade some government, you know, again, let's say white supremacist solution to my victimhood, right? Yeah. My self-imposed victimhood. Yeah. That's a losing strategy to me. That seems like you're going to lose no matter what. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, that's slave theology. It's slave snake oil theology. It doesn't make any sense, because if God blessed your junk food to be healthy, then why are you turning to a government agency that doesn't even believe in the belief system you believe in for healing? If he really said to bless this junk food to be nutritious to your body, obviously the prayer didn't work. So again, Brother Malcolm X, he said a great statement that always stuck with me. I love this statement. He said, if your belief system, if your religion cannot give you practical solutions in this time, in this day, then the hell with that religion. And I love that statement, because if your belief system can't even lead you to the most critical area of life, brother, what is more critical than being physically and mentally healthy? So if what you're believing in does have no practical application to where you have to subject yourself to the single most racist, destructive white supremacist system in the world, which is Big Pharma. I mean, it's like you need to take a serious look at what you're believing in, and what I offer is the true way and the true solution to optimal health and wellness. And always, I want people to always remember that you can go to my website, theministerofwellness.com, and you can look at my before and after picture. And I've been this way now for several years. Most people regain their weight. So it's not like I'm speaking without having done it myself first. And I have duplicated myself in thousands of Black men and women, doctor. Thousands of Black men and women. I have duplicated my success. But again, they called my material, my YouTube channel was banned because they said it was medical misinformation.
Wow. Well, I'm sharing everybody on the screen. I mean, you can see where This is the right website, right? The Minister of Wellness.
Yes, sir. And click on About Me, and you'll see my before and after picture. Click on About Me, and then scroll down and see. And yeah, that is go all the way down to the bottom and look at that. That's my before and after. And then if you click on success stories, there's a whole section of different success stories of brothers and sisters that I help. Yeah, click on weight loss, hover under that, and go go down to weight loss success stories. And then you see all these brothers and sisters that I've helped to reverse incredible today. That brother, he used to eat nothing but meat. If anybody's watching and I've helped you and I've blessed your life, please submit your before and after picture, and I'll send you a free gift and a 25% off product. So help the ministry out so that people can see the benefits of what I'm teaching. This is the real solution right here. And these brothers and sisters, Doc, they was benefiting from them free videos on my YouTube channel that they've now banned, and I have to do them all over again. So I encourage everybody to join the Minister of Wellness Unleashed, where you can get uncensored, unfiltered, unabashed truth about how to achieve what these brothers and sisters have achieved.
Wow. Okay, so everybody who's watching, who just tuned in, we're watching. You're hearing from Nathaniel Jordan, aka the Minister of Wellness. We're also broadcasting from the Black Boss channel, and I want everybody to know. First of all, if everybody could remember, we're trying to fight a narrative here. We're trying to fight against agendas that other people have to harm our people, and so we're building media to counter that. So we really need your help in any way you can. So the first way you can help is if you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do that. That helps the algorithm. Also, make sure you subscribe to a channel. You got to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. It helps our platform grow. We really could use your support. And if you really want to go above and beyond, you can share the link to the video, things like that. So this won't cost you any money. All you got to do is pay attention. You don't have to pay any money, just pay attention. And also the Black Boss channel. We have a lot of brothers like Nathaniel. And I want to say this too. I support him. I believe in what you're doing, and I think it's very important. A lot of you all saw my weight loss journey. And it was really eye-opening, because what it did, and I'd love for you to speak to this, man, is it really opened my eyes to, no matter how much education you have and so-called success and all that, that white supremacist brainwashing is real. That slave training is very real. Like I always joke that they may never give you reparations for slavery, but they've always been giving you preparations for slavery. So since you're little, you've been trained to eat all the wrong stuff, get your education from the wrong people, go work for a white man, go deep in student loan debt to some big white university, listening to racist, genocidal music that's killing your soul, killing your community, right? We cheer for all the things that harm us, right? And so when I lost that weight, I remember noticing how when I let some of that go, when I just made the shift and said, you know what? The old me can't get me to the new me. He does not know how to drive that car. So I surrendered, particularly, to a black woman that I love very much. And she got me doing a lot of stuff I'd never done, like letting go of the meat, like you said, letting go of the sugar, working out every day. And just those three things alone, the weight just started falling off. And it was the best feeling. It was almost like being let out of prison. Can you kind of speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, and that's what you were speaking about is the power of food addiction. The standard American diet, or the satanic American diet, is the greatest weapon our people have ever faced, because it is very addicting. It's more addicting than heroin. And so the addiction makes us subject. It puts us in bondage to what is most killing us as a people. And so therefore, as an ex-police officer, if I focus my content on what the white police officers are doing to our people, I would have 500,000 subscribers and thousands of likes and shares. But because I know that you cannot knock on one door in the black community and there's not somebody that is suffering from obesity, mental illness, autism, depression, anxiety, because I choose to focus on the real genocide, and many times get attacked by our own people. So it's incredible, the power of food addiction, and we have to face it. We have to address it. and we have to start having solutions to it, because again, the government solutions, everybody want to talk about the Tuskegee experiments. For the life of me, I don't understand why Black people, if you mistrust the police, you should have 20,000 times the distrust of a white man in a white coat. Okay. I mean, that, called a medical deity or a death care doctor, which these days they act as if they're just nothing but legal drug dealers. Let me tell you something. According to European medicine, you can't even reverse type 2 diabetes. Now, brother, you just saw all them success stories of Black folk that a preacher has helped to reverse all them diseases. You've seen it for yourself, the success story. But here you have multi-million-dollar campuses in our cities and all of that learning, all of that education, and they can't even duplicate what a preacher can duplicate. So that tells you that. So why would you depend on that system that can't even offer you solutions to weight loss and reversing diabetes, and you're going to let them inject things in you that have not even gone through the standard protocol that the previous injections went through?
Well, it's I'm gonna tell you what, I know a little bit about this thing called capitalism. And the problem with capitalism is that it gets to this point where the pressure to make as much money as possible causes them to not so much deliberately go out of their way to try to harm people. Maybe some of them do, but it almost seems to me that it gets to the point where you can really justify almost anything. Like you find a reason to so for example, it's obviously, like I think the whole thing with oxycodone and all that stuff, like there was no reason to be pushing that as much as they did. Yeah. But when you looked at the economic incentives that were in place, how much money was being made, and then there are some examples where those types of drugs can be beneficial to people. Maybe there are situations where it's appropriate, right? But so you say, okay, well, because it's okay in this one context, we're going to just go ahead and just sell as much of it as possible because it's incredibly profitable. That's your big problem, and you think about that with the FDA and the fact that they have incentives to let some things slide through. When I remember, in fact, when Michelle Obama, I remember watching, I forgot which documentary this was, but they were talking about how when Michelle Obama got into office, and one of the good things that she did try to do was to get Americans to be healthier, right? Doing first lady type stuff. And she was talking about exercising, but also changing your eating habits. So at that point, from what I understand, that was when the
food industry.
Yeah, the food industry. Thank you. I was gonna say restaurant. When they stepped up and they said, we want to help the first lady achieve this goal.
They shut her down.
Yeah, they shut it down. They shut down the part about like not eating things like McDonald's French fries and focus solely on exercise, but keep eating the McDonald's French fries as long as you're doing your jumping jacks. And I thought that was really fascinating. So can you kind of speak to some of that in terms of just how the system is so screwed up that they're gonna give you poison? You can't really trust these people, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they profit from destruction. This is a nation built off of profiting from people suffering and death, and that's very powerful how they shut her down like that. They told her, they said, you tell them to exercise all you want, but you're not going to touch our money, because that money is what makes people fat and sick. And then you get fat and sick and you get scared of a glorified cold. And then you subject yourself to being a lab rat. And then and that doesn't work. And then you have all of these side effects. And that's what I call the death train, where you're on this vicious cycle of being experimented upon by all of these toxic prescription drugs that is going to do nothing to address the root cause. It's the satanic American diet that puts you on the death train. It's the inability to get away from foods that are more addicting than heroin. And that starts the vicious cycle. You will become overweight. You will get sick. You'll be subjected to medical apartheid. And then the vicious cycle continues until they suck the life out of you. The leading cause of bankruptcy in America is the European medical establishment. The leading cause of death in America is the European medical establishment. And of course, the code term that they use for it is Western medicine. But brother, in 2021, I don't have time for cold words and I don't have time for sugarcoating. It's the European death care system. We have lost our way as a people. We have lost our ancient ways. And Dr. Laila Africa, God, may he rest in peace. That man literally died because of the stress of trying to teach what I'm now trying to teach our people. It literally killed him, the stress, because he just felt that he had given so much to trying to teach our people about nutricide, and that message wasn't being receptive, and the stress of it, unfortunately, it took our ancestor out. But prayerfully, I can do more to convince more of our people to change.
Yeah, well, I know you can. And what I'm going to do is, and everybody, if you could, please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do that. Please share this video, subscribe to the channel, things like that, because we need more Black media. And I want everybody to know that I've openly and gladly invited this brother onto our platform to do whatever he wants to do, because I think that this is an important message. One of the things I can tell you, you guys hear me talk about wealth all the time, and they say health is wealth. Really, health is more important than wealth, right? We know this, right? You can't. It doesn't matter how much money you got if you're dead, right? And we know that story. And so I can tell you, as a person who understands wealth and values wealth, that your health is the ultimate form of wealth. Like, that is your greatest, most valuable wealth. So I think that should be something that we think very carefully about. Now, I want to read to you, man, a list of the leading causes of death for non-Hispanic Black males of all ages. And I'd just like to get your thoughts on this list as I read it. Because it's very different from, the Black list is different from the white list. Yeah. The black has a lot of preventable diseases, whereas the white list, they just got those genetic issues, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, here's what it says. Number one is heart disease, 27. Actually, in fact, let me share my screen, everybody. Let me just do it that way, and we'll read down the list together. And I just want everybody to kind of gain an awareness of your health, so we can kind of think about these things. Heart disease, number one, 23.7%. Cancer. Shout out to my late grandmother. She died from cancer. A lot of your grandmothers and grandfathers died from cancer. Unintentional injuries, 7.9%. Homicide, 5%. Stroke, 4.9%. Diabetes, 4.3%. Chronic lower respiratory diseases, 3.2%. Kidney disease, 2.6%, septicemia, 1.7%, hypertension, 1.6%. So, Nathaniel Jordan, aka the Minister of Wellness, what goes through your mind as I read that list?
What goes is that they're unnecessary, and also what stands out to me is the homicide, especially of Black men. And here's why that stands out to me. If you go on my website, theministerofwellness.com, and you scroll down, there's a section called Important Health Sermons for Believers in Jesus Christ. Now, it's for all of our people to watch. However, I do have a strong focus on the Black church. And so I did a message last year at a church called Genocide by Diet, how even mental illness and violence is connected to what we eat. What we eat can destroy our brain function. The mind cannot operate the way that it's supposed to without those phytonutrients, those medicines that God put in whole natural plant food. So that's what stands out to me in that list, is that even the homicide is related to this evil way of eating that we have embraced. That's the one thing that stands out. As for heart disease, what stands out to me, brother, is that if 300 Black men were getting killed by white police officers every day, every city in this nation would be burned down. Every city will be burned down in a riot. However, 400 Black men die every 3 days just from heart disease. And that's accepted as normal. And I'm telling you, that doesn't have to be normal. You've seen the success stories, and they don't want the truth getting out. They do not want our people to be set free from the bondage of medical apartheid. And that's why they kicked me off and started deleting my videos when I was talking about all those different diseases that can be reversed. And then also the one on septicemia, that is a disease related to having a weakened immune system. And that's mostly coming from these disgusting hospitals. Their multi-million-dollar campuses taking up all that space in the cities that we live in, where no healing is taking place, but it's a lot of sickness and death taking place in them hospitals just because of the germs and viruses that mutate and take people out right there in the hospital. So if you want to, and you're talking to a veteran, I'm a veteran of the United States Marines. I get free health care, and ask me the last time that I've been to a VA medical center. I don't want nothing to do with going inside of no hospital, because there's no healing and no knowledge about the ancient ways that will produce a long life and excellent health. So it's just sad, brother, to see that type of destruction taking place. But we're just so far removed from how we should be eating and how we should be living. Is really sad.
All right. So everybody who's watching, I'm speaking with Nathaniel Jordan, the Minister of Wellness. And here's his website, theministerofwellness.com. And if you could, please take 1 second, everybody. Please, it's very important. Hit the thumbs up button, share button, subscribe. We need your support on these platforms, because y'all see what we're up against, you know. And also, if you happen to be interested in what brothers have to say, we have black men like Jeff Lightsey Jr. and many others that cover everything from stocks to relationships, politics, health, everything else on the Black Boss channel. We believe black men should be kings and bosses, and that's what we support. So if you support that, or if you are a brother, then feel free to go to that channel. So let me throw this out. I'm gonna ask everybody a question. Give me a yes or no. Yes or no. We know about the organization Black Lives Matter. Do you believe Black Lives Matter? I mean, do you really believe to the core of your soul that Black Lives Matter? Give me a yes in the chat if you think Black Lives Matter. I'm asking this very simple question for a very simple reason. I'm explaining in 1 second. So give me a yes or no in the chat. Do you think Black Lives Matter? I'm not talking about trying to join the organization. We've already had conversations about that. But do you believe that Black Lives Matter? And the reason I ask you this question is this. If Black Lives Matter, right? If Black Lives Matter, then your goal is to preserve Black life, right? Yeah. Obviously, right? Because you don't want Black people to die. Why? Well, because Black Lives Matter. Well, then if Black Lives Matter, which means you don't want Black people to die, then it seems to me that when you're talking about the preservation of Black life, you would start with a list like this. You would start on this list and you would say, okay, if Black Lives Matter, how are Black people actually dying? Now, I'm not trying to say police shootings don't matter. I mean, we know that matters. Yes. None of us are friends with the police state in terms of how it's being conducted at this point. We agree on that. But it seems to me logically, now I'm being logical. Logic is not popular in a world full of emotionality and reactional behavior. So two things that are not popular are being logical and being preventative, proactive as opposed to reactive. No, people are emotionally reactive to things that happen to them. They love to be victims, but they're not logically proactive to say, let's find the problem and let's solve it. But I'm a mathematician, so we're going to solve some problems. And I want to hear your thoughts on this, brother. So I will start at the top of this list. Heart disease, right? So whenever somebody wants to say, well, Black Lives Matter, we want to deal with this thing over here, I say, no, actually, if Black Lives Matter, let's save the most lives possible. Let's start with heart disease. What are the causes of heart disease? Well, all that Popeye's chicken, right? I'm sure the McDonald's, right? The soul food, right? Let's deal with that. Then cancer. I'd want to dig into cancer. I know there aren't too many cures for cancer. Most cancers, anyway. I don't know how all that works, but there's ways to prevent cancer. There are things you can do, right? Unintentional injuries. Well, that's kind of self-explanatory. We could work on that. Homicide. Well, we could start with that. I'm talking about, to me, anybody who kills a Black person is a devil to me. Not just the white guy who did it, but the Black guy who did it. All my Black friends who've been murdered have been murdered by other Black people. Yeah. So those people should be held accountable too. Strokes, things you can do to prevent strokes. Diabetes, Lord knows how many of y'all got a family member that has one of these things: heart disease, cancer, unintentional injuries, homicide, stroke, or diabetes? Give me a yes in the chat. Right. So tell me your thoughts on what I just said, brother. It seems to me that if Black Lives Matter, if you're really authentically advocating for the value of Black life, you will start with the things that are killing Black people and deal with those things first. That does not appear to be what we're doing. When I'm talking about, when I even made a little comment about Lizzo and white folks promoting this obese Black woman,
Yeah.
and saying that this is body positivity.
Yeah.
You know, I remember getting a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
Speak on that, brother, if you could.
Yeah. Yeah. You're preaching the truth, brother. And that's the frustration I have as the minister of wellness is how is it that you're going to have a church health fair, but then at the health fair, you're serving junk food? What type of sense does that make? You don't really, I mean, it's just, we're so brainwashed. We're so addicted. The stuff is more addicting than heroin. And I'm not saying that it's hyperbole. I am telling you that it is easier to get off of a heroin and meth addiction than it is to stop eating Pringles and Pop-Tarts and McDoodles and cheeseburgers and hot dogs and soda. Yeah, it's more difficult. So that's why we have large black nonprofits, and they are, bless their heart, they may very well think that they are doing good. They'll go out in the community and they'll have events and say, we're going to pass out clothing. We're going to help clean the neighborhood, but we're also going to set up a barbecue pit. And brother, I tell you, I want to take that barbecue pit and I want to slam it and shatter it to the ground, because the World Health Organization has already stated for years that processed meats causes cancer as strong as smoking cigarettes. So if you're going to set up a community event and you're going to feed our people barbecue processed meat, you might as well be passing out cigarettes to the children. But see, we don't, that's my mindset. And I say it with this much passion, and I preach this message, and you're radical. You're too extreme. Calm down, minister. No, I'm not going to calm down, because you're trying to address one issue, but you're creating 1,000 different problems. You cannot improve the community of our people unless you address the foundation, and the foundation is our health. And that's why even when you see the Black Lives Matter marches and parades and stuff, half of them look like they're about to pass out after marching for a half a mile because they too fat. So you can't start no revolution, and we have all these obese children. We can't have that, brother. I mean, and all of our children are developing mental illness now. We cannot have that situation. So that what you spoke to, brother, is the purpose that my ministry exists. And again, I have attended so many health fairs, and here they are serving ice cream and serving the very thing that is contributing to the destruction of the community. But again, I'm going to say this again. It is easier to get off of a meth addiction than it is to break a sugar addiction. Most meth addicts, when they get off of meth, brother, they'll gain 300 pounds because their addiction will transfer over to processed white sugar.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, you have really educated us very well. And I want everybody to take this website down, theministerofwellness.com. Go check out what the brother has going on. And also I just want to say thank you for having that gospel, just really going out of your way to preach that, because I think that it seems to me, you think about it, some people are stronger than others, right? And you are a very strong black man. I knew that from the first time we talked, and that's why I respect you. And one of the things I've observed is that sometimes people that are not as strong, sometimes they maybe need to sort of be guided in a little bit more of a gentle way, right? And I think you know how to do that, because when you talk about getting an addict off that dope, whatever it is, heroin or sugar, it's tough. It's really tough, and so because I go through that. When I talk about financial topics, like to me, it's simple. Like, why won't you invest your money? Why don't you, And what I found is that sometimes people are scared, or they're just breaking habits. Like habits will put you in a prison that you can never get out of. And so I tell everybody in here that's listening, if there is some habit you want to break, I was talking to a friend the other day where she has the sugar addiction and she's pretty obese. And she said, I want to stop living this way. And one of the things, one of the pieces of advice I gave her was I said accountability, maybe an accountability partner. Find some group of people, small group, one or two people that you will exercise with on a regular basis, and then maybe even have somebody that can help you with what you eat. But I found that was the transition for me. You know, when I actually had, if it had been left up to me, I wouldn't have been the guy who would have gotten us out of bed every day to go running. But Alicia would say, "Come on, boys, let's go." And she was gentle with me. She knew I was a big fat man who didn't want to do nothing, and so she was just like, "Well, just do something, right?" So it almost seemed to me like that first step is just do something. At least be aware. Stop resisting. Stop fighting. Stop trying to justify what y'all know is messed up behavior. Like we all know it. You know, I hope everybody agrees. Stop justifying it. Let your guard down. Take your ego out the equation, and just realize you were misled. That's what I'm thinking. I think that would be a good point we can finish on, brother. But I'd love to get your final thought on that. Not on what I said, but anything else you'd like for us to know as well.
And I agree. And I had to remember, I had a 12-part series that helped a lot of people overcome food addiction called The 12 Components of Food Addiction. But again, my YouTube channel has been banned. I appealed. It took them less than 10 minutes to say no to my appeal. Okay, so you're going to have to find me go to Vimeo, search for the Minister of Wellness. I'm going to bring that shit. I have to redo everything, brothers and sisters. So find me on Vimeo, theministerofwellness.com. Join the Minister of Wellness Unleashed. That's uncensored, hard-hitting information for those of y'all who want that type of unfiltered truth from me. But then also on Facebook, I have an online community on Facebook. I can be healthy. I will be healthy. I must be healthy. And that's an online community. Find us, join us, and we support each other. I have an email list where we give recipes and support each other through email. And you can just go to theministerofwellness.com in a pop-up box. So follow me. I'm still on the other social media platforms for now. So you can find me on those platforms, the Minister of Wellness, and prayerfully I'll be connecting and sending videos with all the YouTube channels that Dr. Boyce has opened up to, so I can have a presence back on YouTube. So the more you follow me, the more I can help you and educate you. I am a health coach, me and my executive director, Dr. Chef Felicia, and we do health coaching together. So I have all the resources for you all, brothers and sisters, for you to be one of my many success stories.
And they can find your series, or they can find your consultation. They can also find your store, upcoming events, and also get access to your Vimeo channel by just going to theministerofwellness.com, correct?
Yes, sir. Theministerofwellness.com. And that's where you find the Unleashed news channel, or you have the Vimeo and the Facebook and so forth.
Okay, good stuff. Yeah, my thought just as we're talking about this, and I want everybody to hear this, is with YouTube, you know, I mean, we know that they censor things, right? Like I even know, just me speaking with you, you know, I know that could put our channel under the radar and all that, but it happens, right? I got banished. We got banned for a week because I shared Minister Farrakhan's address that he gave to the world. And because I'm not, nothing's going to change my loyalty and respect for what he does, you know, and so we're operating under that strange regime. So I would advise anybody out here, if you're really, you know, spitting some kind of fire that's going to cause problems with the oppressor, I advise you, maybe like any video you do, back it up, get you an email list, have all different ways to connect. Like, so a lot of you guys that are watching, I mentioned our email list. Like, you can go to allblackeconomics.com, get on our list. That way, if or when they shut me down on a platform, I can hit you up and say, okay, meet me over here, right? We got to be mobile, moving around, because, you know, to what you're saying, it's getting to the point where the people that allegedly were fighting for freedom, the so-called, you know, liberals, have become fascists. Yeah. They become fascists where, you know, if you disagree with their point of view, they will just censor you. Yeah. And so ultimately what that means is that you're in an unfair fight. So stop expecting these people to be fair. Just know you're in a fight, you know, just like a boxing match. You know, they're gonna try to uppercut you. They're gonna pull a little switchblade out their trunks, you know, you gotta fight back, you know. So the way you gotta fight back is we build platforms so everybody subscribe. We share our videos. We push our stuff around to different spaces. So that way, when they come, it's going to be a little bit harder. If you're dipping and ducking and dodging and moving, it's harder for them to punch you in the face. So I'm your partner, brother. I respect you. And I want to give this website one more time to everybody that's watching, theministerofwellness.com. Feel free to go check the brother out. Thank you guys, everybody, for listening. Please hit the thumbs up button on your way out. Thank you very much, Nathaniel Jordan, aka the Minister of Wellness. I appreciate your time, brother.
Yes, sir, my brother. Thank you. Always a pleasure.
All right, absolutely. All right, everybody. We will see you soon, and please have a great day. Bye-bye.